Welcome again to Gerontology 400. This is your instructor, Dr. Marshall, and in this video today I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the syllabus, our assignments, the schedule, and hopefully Beachboard if it's not acting up. So first, I just want to talk a little bit about this class. So what is Gern 400? Well, mostly it's an interdisciplinary examination of aging. So we'll be looking at biological, psychological, and social aspects of aging. There are a lot of objectives to accomplish in this course, and you can read the full detailed list in the syllabus, but kind of an overview is that I want by the end of this course for you to be able to describe and understand aging and stereotypes, and also understand age-related changes, both biological, psychological, and socially. I want for us all to take time to analyze and interpret research related to aging and be able to evaluate the effectiveness of that, and also compare and contrast aging across different groups, like different genders, races, cohorts. Also, we'll discuss topics related to aging, such as death, healthcare, caregiving, housing, retirement, and a few others. And hopefully by the end, you'll have some empathy and understanding for how much diversity there is in the aging experience. Now this course is completely online, and so I want to talk a little bit about what that means. Much of the content is online, so you must have discipline to actually log in and do your work each week. And our weeks will run Monday through Sunday, so figuring out how that fits within your schedule ahead of time is always a good idea. Our discussion board posts will be due on Friday so that you have the weekend to respond and reflect on another classmate's posting before Sunday. And all other readings and assignments should be completed by Sunday. So just kind of think of the weekend as the time for you to finish up any last things you have for that final week before you start the next week. Now, if you work on the weekends, you might need to have all your work done by Friday other than trying to, respond to a student's post. Just make it work with whatever your schedule is. And on that, add time to your calendar now. So make your own class time each week, a block of 2 hours here or an hour there, as a standing event in your calendar so that you don't always wait till the last minute or not give it the time that it needs. Like I said, this does require some discipline in order to keep up with the modules each week as we move through. And we'll have a lot of videos like what I'm doing now, kind of providing some audio instruction along with a PowerPoint, or as I'm talking through a textbook chapter. We have actually some recorded lectures from previous instructors of this course, so you'll kind of hear a variety of voices as you're going through the modules. Now, I want to kind of go through the syllabus, so here I'm going to exit the PowerPoint and kind of touch base on some things in the syllabus. So, kind of make this easier to see. As I've already gone through kind of the description of the course, you'll see up here at the top of the syllabus is the information for me, my email, where my office is on campus, and when office hours are available. I also take them by appointment because I understand you might have other classes or work or other responsibilities, so never hesitate to email me to ask to set up an appointment. And as I put here, we can meet via Zoom through the Beachboard if you're unable to make it to campus. Now moving on to the required texts for this course. We have one textbook for this class. You can choose to either get the printed edition, which actually comes with an ebook access code. That's $107 the last time I checked through the 49er shop. Or you can choose the ebook only option, which is more of a renting, where you would have access to the book for 180 days, enough for the class, and then it would disappear from your account. And that's $65. I understand books are expensive, so if you've found a used copy somewhere, you can check with me to make sure that the page numbers are going to line up before the class starts. There's a copy at the library that you might be able to use, but just know there's a lot of sections of this course, so I wouldn't rely on being able to access the library copy, last minute before an assignment's due. Any other additional readings will be included under Beachboard under each discussion module. So links to articles. Mostly we actually have a lot of videos to watch, so those will all be linked. So the only thing you need to purchase is that one textbook. Technology considerations, as you can assume, this course requires a lot of technology. So if you have any questions, you need a computer lab, you're having problems with Beachboard, there's instructions in this section here about who to contact to get help. Please do not come to me first when you have a Beachboard problem because I don't know it much more than you do. So go straight to the source, straight to the people that can help you, and they'll get you squared away. Okay, course policies and requirements. The class is going to include lecture, like I'm doing right now, lecturing through the online platform, discussion boards, so you'll be conversing with classmates, media presentations, as I said, videos, writing assignments. You'll be turning in a couple writing assignments as this is a writing intensive course for Gen Ed. Individual and partner research activities. We actually do have one assignment that you'll work on with the partner, but you can do it all online, and we'll talk about that. And critical thinking exercises. In terms of our grading policy, you can read more specific details there on how written assignments should be drawn up and where things should be submitted. The final letter grades are kind of what you've seen in other courses. Communication policy here right under the assignments. What's important to note is that first and foremost, you might want to go to the Asked and Answered forum in the discussion board tab on Beachboard. If you just have like a random question about an assignment, a little thing, you might want to post it there first because you could get a response from a fellow classmate before I get a chance to respond. And so you might get your information a little bit quicker. Also, by checking the board, you might find that somebody else has already asked your question and received an answer, and I will go in and confirm what other students have said so that people know that that is the correct answer. But if it's a personal issue or you really want to talk to me about something and you're going to email me, make sure you include your name and as is listed in the university system, along with the section in which you are registered. So, you know, either are you section 4, are you section 8? In this case, we are section 8. Just so that way I know which class you're emailing me from and I don't give you a wrong answer because I think you're in a different section. Of course, you know, here's some information about talking about scores or grades, so you can read through that. Netiquette. This is important in this class because we are conversing with students about maybe, you know, some potentially controversial topics at times. And so just having the respect of your other classmates in mind when you're posting responses. Just think about what would you say in person if you were in an in-class discussion. Maybe think about that when you're posting online, because sometimes it's easier to say things online when you don't know the person on the other end. But remember, this is a fellow student of yours. So just be polite and you can challenge one another's perspectives, but do so in a respectful way. And I will be watching for any issues. And if you do encounter issues, please touch base with me. If you feel that something occurred in a conversation and it's made you feel upset, feel free to talk to me. Okay, what do we have here? Late work, attendance. What's important to know is that there are a lot of students in a number of sections of this course. So it's important that we keep our guidelines and our deadlines strict so that it's fair for everyone. So we don't accept late papers unless you have a verifiable excuse. Please notify me right away if you know you're going to be late. And that gives me the ability to kind of reopen the assignment link in Beachboard if I need to. And avoid waiting till like literally the last minute to submit things in Beachboard, because sometimes, as is happening right now on campus, Beachboard goes down, and if you don't have access, that can be really frustrating. So you want to make sure you're submitting things, giving yourself time. Attendance, we don't have an in-class meeting, so attendance is really just, logging into Beachboard a few times a week, making sure that you're doing your work, putting your discussion posting up by Friday so other students have an opportunity to respond to it. That's kind of what we consider as attendance. Class organization and philosophy. I've kind of gone through a lot of this. Make sure you spend time reading into that a little bit more. Everything's conducted 100% online. So we'll talk through Beachboard. Here's some information about how things are set up in Beachboard, but I will actually click through and show that to you. In terms of university policies and practices, I will let you read all of this on your own. There's a lot here. Just know that we do not mess around with plagiarism and academic integrity. So make sure that you're citing your work, make sure you're not copying off another student or even using someone's materials from a previous semester. We have software that can actually detect things that have been turned in, in a previous semester through Beachboard. So please just have respect for the class and respect for the material you're learning and write your own essays and don't use something that someone else might have written. You're not learning anything through doing that. So just read through this if you have more questions about plagiarism or cheating. If you have questions about how to cite things, talk to me. I understand that you might not know everything about APA citations at this point, so I'd rather hear from you ahead of time than have to talk to you about not citing your sources. Finally, accessibility and accommodations. You need to notify me in advance if you need any sort of accommodation. You can read what that means and how to get your disabled student services letter for disability. But this could be things like needing extra time for the quizzes. I can go into the system and give you more time for quizzes if that's something that DSS has recommended. So just read through that if you think there's something that you need to know about accessibility. And then, of course, statement of non-discrimination. We are committed to maintaining an inclusive learning environment. If you are concerned about anything happening on the discussion boards or in our class, please do touch base with me. Or there's information on who else you can talk to on campus, Office of Equity and Diversity, Student Union, things like that. Okay, now we're going to bounce back to the PowerPoint. Okay, now we're going to talk through the assignments. We have quite a few assignments in this course, but as it being an online course, in order to make sure that you're getting everything out of this class, we need to have a number of assignments where we're touching base through the semester on different topics. So it's kind of hard to read the text here, but it's in the syllabus as well. And I'll go through each one of these assignments. So first we have the controversy or book review. You get to choose. That will be worth 100 points. Then we'll have the life review paper worth 200 points. Your discussion board reflections throughout the semester will equal up to 300 points. Quizzes, 100 points. And the Pecha Kucha partner presentations, which will be pre-recorded, are 200 points. And this will all come out to 900 points for the class. So the first assignment is the controversy paper or the book review. So for this, you get to choose which type of paper you'd like to write from the options below. And this will be a 3 to 5 page paper. And it's due actually, I think after the third week of class. So it's due pretty soon after the start of class. And the reason for this is that this is a writing intensive general education course. So we need to assess writing at the beginning of the semester, the middle, and the end. So we have multiple opportunities for writing. And so I'll take into account the fact that this is still the beginning of the semester when you're writing this paper. You don't know everything yet. You haven't read the entire textbook yet. So don't worry about thinking you need to know everything to do this assignment. It's really just getting you into the material right at the beginning of class. So you may choose option 1 is to write about one of the controversies in our textbook. You'll see that all of the chapters are kind of organized under these controversies. So you kind of pick a hot issue, hot topic relating to our older adult population, and you write an essay on how this impacts U.S. society as a whole and provide both for and against arguments on your controversy. And there'll be more, detailed instructions on Beachboard for that. Or the other option is to look at a book a contemporary book related to aging successfully or productively. You don't need to purchase this book. You can go to the bookstore or the library. It might take you more than one visit to kind of look through this book without purchasing it. You don't need to read the entire book. I just want you to read, a few chapters, check out the beginning, check out the conclusion, kind of just get a general gist of what this book is about. And using course material, you'll evaluate the book, linking it to the materials from our course, and providing some recommendations for improvements. And again, the full instructions for that are included in Beachboard. Your second assignment, this will be due more toward the end of this semester. This is kind of thinking about aging-related changes associated with older age using what we call the biopsychosocial model. And you'll do this by completing a life history of an older person. So you'll find someone and you'll reminisce with them. You'll interview them about their life, and you'll kind of try to find meaning associated with their lifespan and materials in our course. So there's a lot more details on how this will work, but essentially you'll interview someone, ask them about their life, and then you'll kind of create this paper linking to the biopsychosocial model, linking to what we've talked about in class. So there are two parts to this. The first part is proposing, completing a proposal and a script. So telling me who you're going to interview and what kinds of questions you're going to ask them. And that'll be due earlier in the semester. And then later, you'll have the actual life review after you've interviewed them, where you're writing the whole thing up. Okay, our discussion board module reflections. There are 7 over the course of the semester. And you'll really have to go into the modules to see each specific question. It really varies across the semester what we're talking about. But rather than having you reflect every single week, we have grouped them a couple, modules will go by, and then you'll reflect on the 3 modules together. So it's important that you keep up with the weekly modules so that when you get to this reflection, you can reflect across all the modules that are included in that reflection. And we'll look at what that looks like on Beachboard. And just one more thing on discussion board. Please look at the written assignments for information, instructions, grading rubric. Writing 2 sentences is not going to be enough. As I said, this is a writing intensive course, and these reflections show me that you are engaging with the material on a weekly basis. So you'll need to make sure that you're writing enough and integrating the material in. Just because this is a discussion board doesn't mean that you can use shorthand and just write like you're sending an email. I want it to be a piece of academic scholarly work each time you do a reflection. And that includes reflecting deeply on what your classmates are saying when you reply to them as well. So make sure you go in and read those instructions. Quizzes will come from readings, lectures, videos, online discussions. Mostly, I think the questions are linked to the textbook, so you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with that. They're all located under quizzes, but also linked to the modules under discussion board. You'll have about 30 minutes to complete each quiz, and if you need more time for accommodations, please let me know right away. And you actually have 2 attempts to take each quiz to better learn the material and improve your grade. So the better of your 2 scores will be what is included in the gradebook. The final group project. This is called a pechakucha, if you've never done a pechakucha before. It's basically a PowerPoint presentation where you have 20 slides, and each slide is only on the screen for 20 seconds. So you have to go through and automatically time your slides to go by every 20 seconds. So you and a partner will pick a topic related to aging and put together this type of presentation. The slides typically include lots of visual imagery, not a lot of words or bullet points. It's a little bit more creative and outside the box than a typical PowerPoint. So you and your partner will be able to kind of work under Google Docs, Beachboard, however you can work. If you can meet in person, that might be helpful, but it's not required. And then you and your partner will record audio narration of this presentation and submit it, and I'll watch that recorded video. And I say video, but really it's like this presentation right now. The slides will be what I'm seeing, and I'll be hearing your voices. I don't actually have to see you. So you can record through PowerPoint, or there are some other programs as well. So you and your partner will just need to decide how you want to split this up. It needs to be both of you speaking, so you can either do 10 slides one person, 10 slides the other person, or if you can get together when you're recording and you can even switch it up every 5 slides, that's cool too. Whatever works for you and your partner. We'll post some links for some examples of this so you can get a better idea. I wouldn't worry about it too much right now. It's kind of your final exam project. Okay, so that's all I have in the PowerPoint. I'm going to come over here to this schedule. I know, sorry, this video is very long, but I think it will be helpful for you. Okay, so this is the course schedule that I submitted on Beachboard and emailed to you. What you're going to want to do each week is kind of just look at the week, see it's Monday through Sunday, week 1. These are the topics that we're going to cover. And then it kind of just gives you a really short and sweet breakdown of what you need to do. So you can kind of check these things off as you go through them. It will always list what module we're on under Beachboard. If you need to do a discussion board posting, if there's a quiz, or if there's a paper due on Dropbox. The reason some of these are gray is because in the hybrid course, these are the days that we meet in person. So just ignore the gray and the white. I'll fix that and put that on Beachboard without any gray or white. So ignore the fact that some of them are gray and some of them are white. That has no meaning for you. Every week is the same, always online. You'll see we have nothing during fall break, and then for our final exam week, you'll just need to submit your recorded presentation on Dropbox. Okay, so that's the short and sweet. Let me see if I can show you Beachboard. Okay, so this is our Beachboard right now. It's not completely up to date, as you'll see over here in upcoming events. These dates are not quite correct yet. I need to make sure everything is in there. Well, maybe those might be correct. But you'll see this main page has a welcome for you and kind of some information. You'll see the video that welcomes me, and then this video I'm recording right now will be down here. This is course home. If you go to content, this page will be kind of where actual materials are that you can download. So you'll see under here we have the course schedule, the syllabus, any rubric or instruction pages for any of our assignments, discussion board, controversy paper, life review, Pechakucha, all of those are there. And that's kind of all that's there right now. You're going to want to spend most of your time, I'll get there in a second. First, I'll click on this, Dropbox. This is where your papers will be due. It's not correct right now. These dates are currently from an earlier semester. But you'll go here and you'll be able to submit your papers there. Quizzes. This is where your quizzes are, and you can see that the practice exam, and the word exam is not very good. It's more like just a fun assessment. It does not count towards your grade. That's already available, and then future quizzes are all the quizzes that you have yet to have access to. But I find it easiest if you just spend most of your time here in discussions. So discussions is where most of the action is going to happen in this class. First, what we have is your asked and answered board. This is if you have questions from, about an assignment coming up, you can post it here and your classmates might answer before I get a chance to. But I will also check and answer questions there as well. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to have it there instead of lost in an email. After that will always be at the top. We'll have all of our modules. So as you saw, like week 1, module 1, week 2, module 2, week 3, module 3. It kind of follows that pattern. So you'll have under each module the objectives for that module, resources, which are often things you need to click on and watch or what you need to read in the textbook, and then assessments, like what you need to do with that information. And so it kind of gives you 1, 2, 3, what you need to do. It's easy to kind of go there and check off and make sure you've done everything. And when it says reflection on your expectations, so any reflection is going to be down here. You'll see post module 1 reflection responses here. You can click on that and you can post. And once you've posted something, you can then reply to your fellow students. And all the dates and instructions for each post will be there. So here's module 2, again, objectives, resources, and you'll see here, this is a link. And then down here, you'll see there is no reflection for module 2, and that will be clear in the schedule that you have as well. So for module 2, all you need to do are the things up here. There's no quiz, there's no post, there's nothing. Module 2 is kind of, you're still getting into the semester and getting caught up, so there's not a lot that you have to turn in. I'm not going to go through every module. I just want to get down to one that includes a quiz so you can see what that looks like. So again, module 3, there's some more videos to link to. And then here on module 3, there's no reflection today, but you can see that it reminds you that the controversy or book review is due Sunday, 9/16 by 11:59 via Dropbox. I'm not sure if I can put a link in there to take you directly to the Dropbox or if you have to go up and click on Dropbox, but it's just giving you a little heads up to remind you that that's due. Now we get down to module 4 and we finally have a quiz. As you'll see, it says quiz 1 linked below. You'll see here's the link, so you can click on this and it would take you to the quiz that covers the first 3 controversies. So you want to make sure you're up to date with all of your readings before you take this quiz. But again, you can take it twice, so you can up your grade if you didn't get a great grade the first time. There's no penalty for taking it twice. And so then here's our first real discussion board posting at module 5 that really includes some heft to it. It's not just an introduction. So this discussion board posting covers controversies 1, 2, and 3, and it explains right here what you'll need to do. Write 2 to 3 double-spaced pages reflecting on the following scenario. Okay, so that's basically what the discussion board looks like. You can go through and you'll see that there are the modules for all weeks already available. However, I do suggest that you stay along with the schedule just because if you get too far ahead, it'll be harder for you to do the reflections as intended for the groupings of controversies. And you'll see that you are not able to actually post reflections in advance. Those will only be open the week that they are due, along with quizzes as well. The last thing you might want to click when you're in Beachboard is the grades. I don't know what it'll look like. Yeah, here you won't be able to see much, but you'll see, the quizzes, what the grade could be. Right now it's a little messed up, but they're all supposed to be 20 points. There is no final exam. That will be the Pechakucha presentation, and so I need to work on this grade book to make it look right. But that's the general gist, is you'll be able to see your grades here. And I encourage you to check on your grades regularly. Don't wait until the last week to ask me about your grade. I take pity on students when they talk to me midway through the semester about their grades, not waiting till the very last week. So keep up with checking on your grades. If something doesn't look right, contact me right away. It's much easier to fix something when only a week's gone by versus 3 or 4 weeks later. So just keep that in mind. And so I think at this point, I have nothing more to say about the class. I'm just excited for you all to join me. And I know that online might be completely new to some of you. So feel free to email me or come in and see me in office hours if you are on campus at any point to talk about things. And let me know if you have any questions. I will post, reminders on this news board here. Really, for this week, you just need to go to Module 1 and get started on the activities listed there. Thank you.